The Hungarian horntail is the scariest and most powerful dragon that was featured during the Triwizard Tournament in the movie Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. The Hungarian horntail has a massive lizard-like appearance with sharp spikes running down its tail, which features even larger horned spikes, hence the name. It has large bat-like wings which allow it to fly at an unreal speed. Even when it is on land, the Hungarian horntail is still remarkably quick despite its size. This speed was shown when it chased Harry Potter during their battle. Despite having one of the fastest magic brooms, Harry barely made it out alive. This dragon's main power is its flame, which can cover over 50 feet. Because of its speed on land and air, the Hungarian horntail is also really skilled at close and ranged combat. It is a really smart breed of dragon with sharp instincts and a very hot temper, making it difficult to tame. Its black scales are also magic resistant, which means spells and charms are useless on it. The bull dragon is the main villain in the movie Reign of Fire. In the film, the Earth was torn apart by dragons, which then became the dominant species on the planet. The bull dragon reigns over all other dragons because of its immense power, and it is the only source of reproduction, as it is the only surviving male of its species. The bull dragon is twice the size of the other female dragons. It has a lot of horns, and as a result of its old age in previous battles, it also has numerous scars covering its scales. The bull dragon is sadistic, ruthless, and evil. It had lived for a very long time, and for that reason, had become very cunning and intelligent. The bull dragon is also very agile and fast, and its scales are very resistant to weapons. Even after Van Zan shoots it with a shrapnel at close range, the bull dragon almost immediately wears off the attack like nothing happened, and attacks Van Zan again. Besides its physical powers, because of how quickly and frequently it reproduced, it filled the earth with dragons and soldiers for its army. Kralkatorrik, the crystal dragon, is the elder dragon of Crystal and Fury from the game franchise Guild Wars. Kralkatorrik is massive. He is over 1,000 feet tall, and his wingspan can completely cover the sun. When asleep, he can be mistaken for a whole mountain. Kralkatorrik is a magical beast and has the ability to transform into sandstorms and hurricanes. He can completely solidify his entire body, making weapon attacks useless against him. He can fly across continents in minutes, and even gods fear him because of his ability to absolve magic. Kralkatorrik's most devastating power is his ability to create what is known as the Brand. The Brand is Kralkatorrik's crystalline minions, and he makes these monsters by simply flying over living creatures. In this scene, you can see how he transforms a whole plane by just going over it. Kralkatorrik can also see visions and predictions of future realities. However, as powerful as Kralkatorrik is, his one weakness is his crystallized blood. He's notable for being one of the central threats in Guild Wars 2. Seath the Scaleless is a boss in the video game franchise Dark Souls. Seath is a mutant, and unlike the other everlasting dragons, he was born without the stone scales that made them immortal. Due to his deformity, he betrayed his brothers and became a master of sorcery, which was the only way he could become immortal like other dragons. Due to his mutation, Seath is a very strange and horrifying looking dragon. His body is pale and white, covered with slimy flesh rather than traditional scales. He also has fairy-like wings, tentacles, and appendages extending from his head. His lower body is covered with crystals protruding from his body as a result of his experiments with immortality. The first time players encounter Seath in the game, his powers are so immense that it is impossible to defeat him. He is literally an unbeatable boss. Seath, the Scaleless, is a wizard dragon and specifically practices crystal-based magic. He mastered soul sorcery and can also drive enemies mad, summon deadly crystal attacks, and regenerate his life unless his elixir, Primordial Crystal, is destroyed. Fang Foom is a Marvel comic book character. The dragon is an alien invader and sorcerer. When Fang Foom arrived on Earth, the rest of his crew shapeshifted to human forms to easily fit in, but Foom was put to sleep in a tomb in case anything went wrong. Fang Foom very much resembles a Chinese dragon. He is an enormous green-scaled dragon with a humanoid posture. He has clawed muscular arms, a horned head, and his wings are massive enough to generate hurricane-force winds. Foom can breathe fire and acid and can fly at supersonic speeds. He possesses regenerative powers from physical wounds and can grow to enormous sizes due to his shape-shifting abilities. He also possesses telepathy, is really intelligent, and is a master of alien technology from his home planet, Kralkatorrik. One of Fang Foom's most impressive powers is his ability to absorb his enemies' powers by merely touching them. We see him use this technique in the series Hulk and the Agents of Smash, where he absorbs alien Hulk until he loses his Hulk form. Akatosh is the dragon god of time in the Elder Scrolls game universe. Akatosh isn't an ordinary dragon, he is the embodiment of time, stability, and the linear flow of existence. In the game, Akatosh is a deity worshipped in the Tamrielic religion. However, there have been a few instances where he manifested physically, like in Skyrim. In these instances, Akatosh takes the form of a golden dragon with a wide wingspan, a crown-like head, curly horns, and a divine radiance of power. Akatosh's powers go far beyond the usual flight and flame. As the embodiment of time and existence, he has the ability to bend, stretch, or even rewind reality. His very essence fuels the concept of continuity in the Elder Scrolls timeline. Without Akatosh, causality collapses. Tathamet is considered the ultimate dragon of darkness in the video game series Diablo. According to the video game, Tathamet was the second being to exist in creation. Anu, the first being to exist, wanted to become pure good, so he extracted all of the evil he had from his body. However, these elements were too evil and strong to exist separately, so they combined to form the seven-headed dragon, Tathamet. Each of Tathamet's heads represents one of the seven evils, which are terror, destruction, hatred, lies, anguish, pain, and wickedness. Since he holds all the evil in the world, Tathamet has godlike powers and can command time, matter, death, and sin. After Tathamet died during a battle with Anu, his body collapsed and formed a burning hell. Tathamet is hell, and from his carcass emerged every demon that ever existed. Magladroth, also known as the Void Dragon, is the most powerful dragon from the Warhammer 40k video game universe. He is the greatest and scariest member of the Seath, a group of godlike star-eating creatures worshipped by a race of extinct humanoids. In the game, although Magladroth's true form has not been seen, his powers and being are contained within a necrodermis. This shiny, titanic, metallic body is cloaked in energy and cosmic radiation. The Void Dragon has vast powers, including the ability to shapeshift its necrodermis body endlessly. As a Seath, Magladroth can also disassemble matter at a quantum level. He feeds on energy, controls gravity, bends space-time, and can disable advanced machinery with his mind. Unlike the other Seaths, his connection to technology is so advanced that the tech priests of Mars unknowingly worship him. What is even more insane about the Void Dragon is that he had been asleep for a millennium, yet commanded the loyalty of billions who didn't even know what he was. However, during the Great War, he was defeated and enslaved by the Necrons, and his powers were shattered into 1,000,000 shards. Thordak, the Cinder King, is one of the most destructive dragons and the ancient leader of the Chroma Conclave, who is bent on conquering the city of Exandria in Critical Role's Vox Machina animated series. Thordak is a red dragon with dark, armored scales and spines and 4 massive horns that form a crown. Thordak also bears a powerful heart crystal that is the source of his anger and fury. The heart crystal glows from a split in his chest, and his flames are so hot that molten fire leaks from his mouth like drool. Thordak is a weapon of absolute destruction. His presence alone causes the weather to go dark. He breathes flames that can melt anything, and sometimes even breathes hotter, blue flames. In the series, he destroyed one of the greatest cities, Tal'Dorei, in minutes. He is rapid in the air and on land, and has elemental fire magic that allows him to summon fire elementals, create cataclysms, and resist powerful spells. Raishan is the co-founder of the Chroma Conclave alongside Thordak, and she is one of the evilest dragons ever. Raishan isn't the biggest or the most physically destructive, but she has very slick shapeshifting and magical powers. Unlike Thordak, Raishan is an ancient green dragon with a thinner appearance. She is also a shapeshifter and most of the time takes the form of a bald witch. However, Raishan has been afflicted with an ancient disease for centuries, resulting in sores and wounds on her dragon scales and human body. Raishan is stealthy, clever, and well-versed in all forms of magic, including poisoning and dark arts. She is also very deceptive and fools her enemies into helping her take over Thordak's body after she kills and betrays Thordak. She is a good infiltrator using powerful illusion and polymorph spells. She can pose as anyone, anywhere, for as long as needed. When in her dragon form, unlike the conventional dragons, she breathes a deadly toxic gas that melts flesh and decays armor and has necromantic powers, which allows her to raise the dead and drain life. Raishan doesn't care about taking over cities and destruction. Her long-term goal is to cure her disease, and she is willing to go to any extent to achieve it. Kilgharrah is the last great dragon in the famous Merlin series. He is over 1,000 years old, and for over 20 years, he was chained in a cave below the Camelot castle after the Great Purge War. Kilgharrah is majestic, with gold scales, a wide wingspan, and a very commanding baritone voice. Kilgharrah has mighty fire powers, but he is more than a beast of fire. He is also a prophet and an ancient vessel of wisdom. He has an account of the castle of Camelot from its beginning. He is a sorcerer and on many occasions used magic to save Merlin from danger. He is also really good at combat and can destroy castles, armies, and burn through sorcery with his flames. One of Kilgharrah's most iconic moments is his return after being freed from his chains. He immediately seeks revenge and burns through Camelot for having him imprisoned for over 2 decades. He was later calmed by Merlin, who had been his ally for a long time. The Bewilderbeast is from the second installment of the How to Train Your Dragon movie series. It is a title-class dragon and is also considered the king of all dragons. It is remarkably massive and resembles a cross between a mammoth, a fish, and a dragon. It has white scales and massive tusks protruding from its face, with spiked ridges covering its entire body. It has numerous small wings and a fin on its tail, which gives it exceptional swimming abilities. The Bewilderbeast is a mighty dragon and controls both the air and the seas. It is also important to note that instead of fire, the Bewilderbeast has a very wide ice blast breath, which it combined with its immense physical power during its battle with Toothless. It also emits a subsonic roar that allows it to control the minds of other dragons. The most iconic moment featuring the Bewilderbeast dragon species was the battle between 2 Bewilderbeasts, the Alpha on Hiccup's side and the enslaved one controlled by Drago. It was total destruction when both dragon gods clashed. Viserion is one of Daenerys Targaryen's 3 dragons in Game of Thrones, named after her brother, Viserys. Viserion is a creamy gold with red gold highlights. It also has vast wings and fierce amber eyes. Viserion is smaller than Drogon, but he is still significantly massive. Like his brothers, Viserion breathes red-hot fire. He is an agile fighter, making him a valuable asset to the Mother Dragon. However, Viserion's powers evolve after being killed by the Night King. He resurrects as an ice dragon and frostfire breath so powerful that it destroys the wall itself. The Red Death is the most powerful dragon in the How to Train Your Dragon series, and is notable for being the commanding force behind dragon raids. It sends the smaller dragons to invade the Viking village in search of food and eats anyone who fails to deliver. It is massive, with green-gray, rock-like scales, a thick body, 6 eyes, and a jaw lined with long fangs. Its wings resemble volcanic stone, and its massive tail can tear down cliff sides with a single swing. Red Death is a true powerhouse and dwarfs most dragons in the film by quite a mile. Its main ability is devastating fire. It can ignite blasts that tear through fleets, and its size makes it almost invulnerable to elemental attacks. It also has psychic and behavioral control powers over other dragons, keeping them in line by threatening to devour them. It is also among the few dragons that cannot be mind-controlled by the Bewilderbeast. One of Red Death's most iconic moments is the final battle against Toothless. Despite its size, it's fast, cunning, and relentless, but Toothless ends up killing it with the help of his friend, Hiccup. Dragonstorm is a unique fusion dragon in Transformers: The Last Knight, and is formed when the 12 Knights of Iacon combine into one draconic titan. Dragonstorm has a spiky, gothic aesthetic and is built from dark Cybertronian metal. His body resembles a war armor, with his gears grinding as he moves. He has 3 heads, or more, on some occasions, depending on the scene's transformation. He has massive wings that exhale energy bursts, not flames. As a transformer-formed dragon, his powers are both magical and mechanical. He flies at supersonic speeds, which allows him to crash through alien ships effectively. During the battle over Stonehenge, when aliens rip through Earth, Dragonstorm launches into the sky, streaming out energy blasts and ripping through enemy forces. His body can separate into individual warrior bots and reform instantly. This shape-shifting makes him unpredictable in combat, sometimes a dragon, sometimes a squad of knights. Shenlong, or the spirit dragon, is one of the most powerful dragons in Chinese mythology. Unlike the fire-breathing beasts of the West, Shenlong is a celestial guardian. He is not associated with destruction, but with power, balance, and divine favor. He controls the weather, particularly storms and rain, making him essential for agriculture and prosperity. Shenlong's has a royal snake-like body covered in shimmering emerald scales. He has 4 legs with eagle-like talons, a lion-like mane flowing down his neck, and deer antlers crowning his head. Shenlong has no wings as he flies through the heavens with supernatural grace. Shenlong's powers are environmental. He can summon storms, lightning, and rain. He can also withhold them to cause droughts. He is deeply connected to the Emperor's divine right to rule, and angering Shenlong was believed to bring disaster. Temples were built in his honor, and he was invoked in both celebration and in times of trouble. The Hydra is one of the deadliest monsters in Greco-Roman mythology. It has a monstrous snake-like body and can have anywhere from 5 to 100 heads, depending on the version, but the most famous version has a 9. Every time one is cut off, 2 more grow in its place. Its scales are armor-thick and has a poisonous breath that can kill anything within its range. Its powers make it nearly immortal. Traditional weapons are useless, and cutting off its head only increases its powers. Killing it required both strength and strategy. Hercules could only win with help from Iolaus, who burnt the stumps before new heads could regrow, and buried its main head to ensure it stays dead. Hydra also spits venom and thrives in swamps. Hydra has been featured in a lot of movies, including Percy Jackson, Clash of the Titans, and Marvel's Captain America series. Nidhogg is the great dragon of decay in Norse mythology. He doesn't breathe fire or fly over mountains. Instead, he controls the roots of the Yggdrasil tree. The Yggdrasil tree is a massive sacred ash tree in Norse mythology that connects and supports the 9 worlds, including the realms of gods, humans, and the dead. Nidhogg is monstrous and serpentine. He has black scales, sharp fangs that rot anything they touch, and bat-like wings. He is ancient, long before gods or men, and lives beneath the roots of the Yggdrasil. Nidhogg's power is slow destruction. He consumes corpses and Yggdrasil roots. He thrives in Niflheim, the realm of ice and death, surrounded by rivers of poison and bones. Nidhogg is notable for being a cosmic force, not just a monster. He mocks the gods by undermining their sacred tree. He whispers to the dead, stirs rebellion, and waits for Ragnarok, the end of days, when he will rise and unleash chaos on the world. Nidhogg has been portrayed in games like God of War, Final Fantasy, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, each time as a harbinger of the end times. Typhon is the father of all monsters in Greek mythology. Gaia created him to destroy the gods of Olympus because of their wickedness and evil. Typhon has a humanoid torso, 100 snake heads for fingers, and fire flashing from his eyes. Each of his heads speaks a different voice, some human, some bestial, and some divine. Typhon has divine powers. He can breathe fire, control storms, command hurricanes, and even physically overpower gods. In the myth, he defeats Zeus in their first encounter, tearing the god's body apart and nearly ending Olympus. He is notable for fathering many Greek monsters, including Hydra, Cerberus, and Chimera. In modern media, he appears in Percy Jackson, Wrath of the Titans, Hercules, and various cartoons and video games. In Wrath of the Titans, he works with Kronos, the Titan, who is the father of Zeus, to get revenge on his children for imprisoning him in Tartarus. Super Shenron is an eternal dragon of titanic proportions, and is the Shenron who appears when the Super Dragon Balls are gathered. A mighty being in the Dragon Ball Super universe, his mouth alone can consume a planet, and he is shown to be larger than the galaxies between universes 6 and 7 on multiple occasions. His primary ability is wish granting, granting 1 wish per summoning. He achieves this by pulling those who summon him to his core and essentially reading their minds to determine their intentions. A trait unique to him alone, as long as the one who summoned him speaks the language of the gods. The wishes granted by the Super Shenron are without limitations, as seen in Whis' wish for Universe 6 and the humans within it to be restored at Beerus' orders. Despite his incomparable strength, Super Shenron can be killed by the destruction of the Super Dragon Balls, which Goku Black and future Zamasu accomplish in the manga. However, it is unknown whether they used their powers to do it or made a wish to Super Shenron. One of the most powerful dragons and the main character in the How to Train Your Dragon franchise. He is the last of the Night Fury species and became the alpha dragon after defeating the Bewilderbeast. Toothless is a sleek dragon covered with jet black scales and an unusual head shape. He got his name from his ability to retract and bring out his teeth. Toothless shoots powerful plasma blasts and is well known for his incredible speed. He travels at an average speed of over 750 miles per hour and can even break the sound barrier when traveling at full speed. This is truly impressive, considering that Toothless has a prosthetic tail wing, which he lost when Hiccup captured him. He is notably the most intelligent among the dragons and has an ability of echolocation, which he does by plasma blasts. Bahamut is the king of the dragons in the original Final Fantasy. His signature attack is the Mega Flare, a non-elemental beam that cannot be escaped, with a lot of variants. He is also known as the Platinum Dragon in the Forgotten Realms lore. Being commonly considered the strongest, Bahamut can only be summoned after the player has proved their worth by defeating the dragon himself in the Final Fantasy video game. In the Dungeons & Dragons universe, he is a colossal dragon with scales said to be indestructible and a roar that can deafen or destroy enemies. However, he prefers peaceful talks over combat, a character trait that sets him apart from other vengeful deities. Bahamut is seen as the balance of punishment with forgiveness, since he is the dragon god of justice. Alduin is a powerful black dragon who ruled Skyrim during the Merethic era and is a central figure in the Elder Scrolls video game universe. He is also known as the Nordic god of time, whose role is to devour the world and reset the cycle of time, although he also desires to rule over mortals. It is believed that Alduin destroyed the last world to create the new one, marking the beginning of Kalpa, a cycle of existence. He can develop interdimensional rifts, and is so mighty that he causes earthquakes during his arrival. He possesses the ability to devour souls to enhance his strength, as well as resurrect dead dragons, which is something only he can do. In the game, we see him command the earth to give up Sahlaknir in the ancient dragon tongue. Drogon is one of the 3 dragons born in the Dothraki Sea to Daenerys Targaryen and is believed to be a reincarnation of Balerion, the Black Dread. He can be distinguished by his red and black covered scales and his red-black wings. He is the most aggressive of the 3 dragons born out of Khal Drogo's funeral pyre. He is the last living dragon after the death of his brothers Viserion and Rhaegal, and is also Daenerys' mount. Drogon is an intelligent being, capable of understanding human emotions and commands. He first shows this when Daenerys teaches him to breathe fire on command. He is also unpredictable and very dangerous, especially when he feels threatened or agitated, emitting a particularly intense fire that is capable of melting everything in its way. During the Battle of the Gold Road, we see Drogon descend and completely torch Lannister's entire front line. In another scene, we see him melt the Iron Throne to take his mother. The Ur-Dragon is also known as the progenitor of fire. This is because it is an entity from the dawn of time and is the being from which all dragons draw their essence, as well as the literal parent of the elder dragons. It is described as a huge, dark, and terrifying shadow, with wings that span across eternity and a bellowing roar that echoes through all dragonkind. It is essentially blind though, although it uses its eyes to perceive the truths concealed in the wells of time. The Ur-Dragon's breath itself steals the essence of life, and the beating of its wings creates storms from which other dragons are born, including the elder dragons, Ugi and Bolas. The spirit of the Ur-Dragon flows through all dragons in the MTG universe, granting them physical strength, a mighty deal of intelligence, and powerful magic. In J.R.R. Tolkien's The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, Smaug is the last great dragon to plague Middle-earth and the greatest calamity of the Third Age. Smaug is an enormous dragon, although significantly smaller than Ancalagon the Black. We see the extent of destruction he causes in Lake Town upon his death. He is a powerful fire breather, with his body said to resemble molten metal and his skin covered in an impenetrable armor of scales. His underbelly is encrusted with jewels, which he acquired from lying on his seized wealth for such a long time in an attempt to cover up his weak spot, which he mostly does, except for a bare patch on his left side. He is even scarier because his scary appearance masks great intelligence and arrogance. He single-handedly laid waste to everyone and everything on the Lonely Mountain, and probably would have also done the same to the whole of Lake Town in a fit of rage had he not been shot and killed by Bard. Nicol Bolas is an elder dragon, one of the oldest planewalkers and a major antagonist in the fantasy card game Magic: The Gathering. At 25,000 years old, he and his twin Ugin are the oldest living beings in the multiverse. Bolas is best known for his great power, cunning intellect, and manipulative nature. Unlike most dragons, Bolas stands on two legs, using his long tail for balance. Witnessing the death of his elder sister in his early stages shaped his dislike for lesser beings, which is also a source of his drive to become the supreme ruler of all existence. He is highly intelligent and spends his time crafting complex plans that unfold over millennia, usually involving manipulating other beings, most of whom he views as inferior, into doing his bidding. Bolas can travel between dimensions and are virtually immortal. Next, we have Ancalagon. He was the greatest of all winged dragons to have existed. He was bred by Morgoth during the First Age, and was the largest dragon to have lived in Middle-earth. He is 3 times more powerful than Gandalf, who speaks of him as the one dragon who could have harmed the One Ring. However, Ancalagon is only half as powerful as Sauron, who forged the ring. In the war between Morgoth and the armies of Valar, a fleet of winged fire drakes is released by Morgoth as a final resort after noticing his imminent defeat. Ancalagon led this fleet, and they succeeded in pushing back the hosts of Valar from the gates of Angband. The coming of Arundel and his winged ship, Vingilot, accompanied by the Eagles of Manwë, led by Thorondor, was the beginning of the end of Morgoth's fleet. The Eagles and Arundel battled Ancalagon and the other dragons for a day, before Arundel is eventually victorious and Ancalagon is cast down upon Thangorodrim.